Hello and welcome to today's chat, and it's unfortunately that time of year where the weather starts to get somewhat unpleasant and fog around, and this is going to be a sign for the next 3 or 4 months probably. Today I'd like to talk about something I've been thinking about talking about for some time, which is how reliable are sites like mine and how reliable are magazines when it comes to making a choice about buying a vehicle or even comparing various types of equipment. One thing I think that you must bear in mind always is that sites like mine, which are largely funded by advertising, but it's not advertising which I sell, it's sold by Google, and there are magazines. Now, I used to be a magazine producer. I was the owner of a couple of business magazines, and also I worked in a number of B2B largely publications, such as, for example, I used to write for a Polish financial daily. I was also the editor-in-chief of a real estate magazine, packaging magazine, as well as owning a packaging magazine as well. So I've got a vague idea on this subject. And the problem is that magazines are funded by advertising. There are virtually no magazines anywhere in the world which are funded uniquely by subscriptions or people who pay to buy the newspapers or whatever. So with that in mind, there's a problem about reliability, and something which happened not so long ago in a magazine, which I won't mention the name of it, but it is one of the largest RV publications in Europe, and it did a test of various I don't even want to say what the product was, but it did a test comparing. Now, one of the product groups that it compared was that of a very large advertiser, and it compared to others which weren't advertisers, and guess which one came out on top. And it's now, before you start writing and complaining this situation, it's got to be to a certain extent understood, and it's knowing where your bread is buttered. And as immoral as it may seem, I can actually understand the point of view of why they would do something like that. Whether or not the information was true or not true, that I don't know. So the advantages with something, at least with something that I do, is, you know, I live in a motorhome, and I've been doing so for almost 10 years now, and as a result I have a I'm not going to suggest that I know more than other people, I certainly don't, but I am financially, at least relatively, neutral, and so are other people as well who do the same thing as I do. So I think that that's something which is worth considering. Now, in my own publishing career, I was never faced with this challenge of how, when you do a comparison, and if you've got an advertiser, and then compare them to non-advertisers. And you know, I was talking to a number of people about this incident at the caravan salon, and afterwards, because I did a little tour around, and the result of that was that I mean, most people thought, oh, it's absolutely disgusting that something like this should happen. But what would you do if you were faced with this situation and you've got magazines incredibly expensive to produce? I mean, I really liked it when I was doing it, but I wouldn't want to do it again in view of the amount of work that's involved, the huge costs not just in printing. You've got to pay journalists. That's the biggest single #1 cost. And then you've got to worry about your distribution. And this is one of the reasons why I think that the new technology, in fact it's not really new technology any longer, we've been doing it now, Web 2.0, I think it's been on the go now, what, 17, 18 years. Now YouTube's been on the go now for 15 years and plus. So therefore, I think that for advertisers, particularly because you can do these Google demographics and all the rest, you see exactly who your publication's going out to, or your advertisement. So that's why things like internet advertising makes so much more sense. So I really wanted to say that one. I've been thinking about this for some time, and that is something you really need to, I think one needs to consider. It's not just in, because this is not about RVs I'm talking about, it applies though to everything, whether you're talking about any form of technology, it's anything, where there's anything which compares. And somebody once had a go at me for not comparing motorhomes, and I came to the conclusion I can only compare them if I'm actually driving them. And bear in mind always that what I tend to do is based on cosmetics, and largely I showed the layout and the rest of it, but it's more difficult to talk about things such as the how it works in reality if I don't have the opportunity of using it in reality. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you found that of interest, and hope that if you're not already done so, that you will subscribe. Now, speaking of how things are actually financed as well, it'd be nice if you want to give some support on Patreon. It would be very much appreciated, which allows me to continue producing these videos. So thanks very much for watching, and all the best from this foggy location here in Poland. And there's the dog. There's the dog. No, she's not interested.